In a world full of challenges, there are incredible people making a difference, one cause at a time. KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. KFGO for a Cause shines a spotlight on organizations and individuals dedicated to positive change.
Welcome to KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. He's in studio with us. Hi, Neil. Welcome back.
Good morning.
And I'm Amy Eiler, usually here Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 with JJ Gordon, but I get to hang out Sunday mornings on KFGO for a Cause. And Eric Wilkie is here, Executive Director of the FM Area Foundation. Eric, welcome to KFGO Radio again.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks for having me back.
So should we do like a FM Area Foundation 101? Like, who are you? And what are you to this community if someone's hearing you for the first time?
Yeah, great. Well, first, Neil, thanks for having us on. It's fantastic to be here. The FM Area Foundation has been in the community since 1960. We're celebrating our 65th year this year. We are the community's community foundation, and so we exist for the citizens of Cass and Clay, and we're here to help promote philanthropy and help them make good decisions and figure out where they can get money and do good in this community. So we've been here for, like I said, 65 years. We've given out over $100 million in our history, and excited to keep that going and excited to share about some great charities today.
Well, this is the time of year when I think of you, because we're sort of turning the calendar to fall. We're turning the calendar to the holiday season. And I thought about your catalog right away. I was like, we turn the calendar on October, and I'm instantly like, hey, the Caring catalog's coming up.
No, that's great. Yeah, we've been doing this since 2018. And what we try to do is we recognize there's a lot of charities in this community and great ones. But we grant to quite a few of them during the summertime. And then what we want to do is we always want to highlight some of those charities during the holiday season in what we call the Caring catalog. So since 2018, we've been highlighting charities in our community for people to consider for gifts. It's raised over $1 million since its inception. And this year, we're proud to lift up another 25 charities during our Caring catalog. And the Caring catalog is open. You can go to our website at areafoundation.org. It's just started here this last week on September 29th, and it's going to run through December 2nd. So we've made it a little bit longer this year, giving the charities more time to get support from the community. But you can go to areafoundation.org, click on the Caring catalog, and find a great charity to support. Okay,
you've got a whole list of them. I know, it's horrible to do lists on the radio, to just sit and list things. But can you highlight a few of them for us and maybe talk about, do you have any new ones that maybe have never been in the catalog before? Or something along those lines?
Yeah, and that's the challenge every year is how we decide is we grant to about 100 charities in Cass and Clay a year, and it's kind of a competitive grant round where we have a lot of charities in our region, but we have a group of people that looks through them and says, okay, here's some great projects for this year we'll support. And then we have to narrow that list down to 25. So it's really hard for us, but we do have some that are consistently in it because they're just great organizations like the YWCA, like the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Red River Valley. But we've got some new ones, too, that are really exciting. We've got one called the North Dakota Skateboarding Association, which was a group of folks that are really trying to promote an affordable sport, one that helps you be healthy. Anybody can do it. They're trying to build an indoor facility for kids. Which we could use here.
I did not know about
Anybody can do it.
Yes.
I used to be able to do it.
I was thinking the exact. You're like, anybody could do it under the age of 17.
Well, they would challenge you because their founder's the same age as me, and he still does it. And but he's super passionate about it, and it's a really, really cool charity. So the North Dakota Skateboarding Association.
That's cool.
Another one that you've probably heard about, but it's their first time in a Caring catalog is Folkways. And Folkways, just yesterday would have had the Red River Market, and they do the market, they do Chris Kindle Market, they do all sorts of things like that. They're really big community builders, and they're one of our favorites too, so we're excited to highlight them as well.
I went to the market for the first time last weekend, and I did the Magic Bazaar.
Oh, the Night Bazaar?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago,
yeah.
and that was just
Neil, that was
totally
the first time you've been there? Where have you been?
Honestly, I'd never heard of it, so it's a new world to me. But I'm really excited about the October one.
And they're ran by a group that's a nonprofit in town, and it's all about community building and really about not being lonely, being a part of community. So it's a really cool charity.
I mean, okay, you make a good point. Like, you're someone who is heavily involved in the community, knows a lot about the community, and still, like, it's your first time at the Red River Market. Like, that's astonishing to me. But that's even a more testament to, like, even if we think someone's been in the community and everybody knows them, there's always a new audience out there, right?
There is. Yep. And it just shows, how important, and I appreciate Neil's group highlighting nonprofits on a weekly basis because they are a huge part of our community. And in order to be a vibrant community, which is one of our visions and goals, is we need great businesses, we need great community people, but we also need great nonprofits. And our nonprofits really build up and make this community better for everybody. And so it's just it's great that we can highlight these charities weekly and share more about the great work they're doing locally.
What'd you get at the market, by the way? It was your first time?
The waffle on a stick.
Oh, you did?
At the night bazaar. At the other one, I had pretty much fried everything. Cheese curds,
as you should.
rolls.
Yep. Perfect.
Lemonade.
Yep, I love that. Oats and toast is usually there. That's my fave. Usually a long line, but really good lattes, really good matchas. They've got this banana syrup that everyone talks about. Okay, we digress.
I mean,
but
you can also get a beer and drink in public. And that's
a draw.
Just something about afternoon drinking
something
outside
about
downtown feels right.
Feels right. It does feel right.
Can we cut this?
We're not cutting any of this. That we're like everybody else. That we're all coming together with one mission to have fun and to be downtown.
That's right.
And yeah,
that's right.
So Folkways is a great one. Okay, the Caring Catalog. This is an actual like physical thing that people can pick up and have with them.
Yeah, not as much this year. This year we're mostly online, but we do have some. And speaking of the market, we're going to be there next weekend.
Okay.
And we'll have some of these available, just kind of small catalogs, and we're also going to be highlighting the 25, and people can come and vote for their favorite one, and maybe we'll do something fun.
Yeah.
But so we're going to be at the market next week too to really talk about the Caring Catalog again. But we've tried to put it more online, save some more trees.
Absolutely.
But it's still a great way to lift up some really, really cool charities doing some cool stuff.
Okay, we're going to start with some education, right, Neil?
Well, basically on our break, I think Amy's head was about to explode as Eric and I were kind of nerding out about finance and taxes. One thing that we were talking about drastically, I was saying I just made a donation to a local charity the other day, and even though I raised my paddle at the event saying I was going to donate, as soon as it was over, I said, is there any way I can do this to qualify for the North Dakota tax credit?
Yep.
And put it in the endowment that you have, because some charities have it, some don't. So very, very confusing for especially some of these small charities to try to figure out what to do. And that's where I think, honestly, your guys' best attribute to the community is to add that. And then also we work with a lot of people on donor advised funds. When the tax code changed a few years ago, you really don't get a lot of credit for that $5,000 to $10,000 donation. Right. It's great you're helping a charity, but from a selfish aspect where you're trying to maximize your taxes, if you're the type of person who gives $10,000 to $15,000 a year over multiple years, we can do what's called charitable bunching and try to give one giant donation right away and then let that be spread out over many years. Because working with a lot of nonprofits, if you give them a $45,000 donation, they're really happy about it. You also become top of their list for the next ask. Yep. And a lot of our clients don't like that. They would like to give a specific charity $5,000 a year for the next 10 years because they might have organizational changes or something you don't agree with their mission 5 years from now and have the flexibility to change. So can you explain more about
Well, you nailed it.
Is?
So you that was perfect, Neil. That's exactly the beauty of a donor advised fund is, a lot of these organizations really rely on annual support. And so, although a $45,000 gift is great and the donor can get a deduction on that because it's large enough to be able to actually take that deduction in that year, now that charity has to find $45,000 the next few years, like you said. And so most people want to do the annual support of organizations, so they want to do $5,000 a year. And so that's better for the nonprofit most of the time, too, because they really need to rely to know, hey, the next 5 years I've got this gift coming in and I can rely that my operations will stay steady. And it's good for the donor as well because the donor can't probably deduct the $5,000 a year, but they conduct, like you said, they're bunching. They can deduct the larger gift, and then they can put it in their donor advised fund, and they can still give it out yearly. And so it really is a win-win for both the donor and the charity. And so that's why donor advised funds have become so popular and such a wonderful tool. And then on the endowed side of it, it's that tax credit, which is we're very fortunate in this state that we have a 40% tax credit if you give to a qualified endowment. An endowment for some nonprofits is tough too because it's kind of long-term money. It's savings money. It's let's keep the principal here and just spend the earnings. But it's very smart too. And so a lot of organizations take advantage of it. And we work with a lot of smaller organizations that can't always take care of those transactions. So we'll hold their endowment for them. We'll ensure that the donor gets all the information they need. And that's kind of the other piece that we do at the FM Area Foundation is that if you have a complex asset or a non-cash asset, sometimes the nonprofit, if they're a certain size, they can't necessarily handle that. But if you've got an appreciated asset, we've done lake homes, we've done farmland. Sometimes you call a smaller charity and they'll just say, we don't even know how to start this. That's where we can be a resource for them. And whether they're working with us or have fun with us or not, we're the community foundation, and so we're here to help with that. And as Neil and I were talking on the break, when it comes to charity, there's not competition. There's if you work with anybody, your financial advisor, your wealth advisor, if you're going to be charitable, we're all about it, and we'll be happy to help provide information with that. Whether you're putting a fund with the FM Area Foundation or anywhere, let's just get and make sure that charity is supported locally.
What is it that there's a lot of information when it comes to big gifts. When it comes to smaller gifts, do you still want them to show up at your door? I'm thinking of that person that, what if it is only $5,000? How do they go about that? What should they start thinking about? Is it not worth their time? Is it worth it to save and accrue over several years? Should they invest it and wait until they have that big gift to endow?
Yeah, can I break that down just a little bit? So what happened back in, I think it was 2019, there was some tax reform there, and the standard deduction went up drastically. So it didn't make sense for a lot of people to not take the standard deduction unless you were very charitable. By being very charitable, I mean more than it's either $16,000 or $19,000 per year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
In my office, I have a cheat sheet in front of me. So, but so if you're not giving more than that, then it doesn't make sense for you to itemize. But if you're the type of person who has a lot of things that you can itemize, then being very charitable makes sense. The Big Beautiful Bill did just change that, so now everybody gets a tax credit for the first $1,000 that they give. So if you were on the fence and you said, well, I just like something back for it, now at least you get something for that. So that helped. But, I mean, a $5,000 a year gift is still a phenomenal gift and can drastically impact the charity. I mean, a $500 a year gift makes a big difference to a lot of these, especially our local nonprofits.
Yeah, you said it perfect, and that's why I appreciate organizations like Neil's and Van Dam Financial Group. Neil's a chartered advisor in philanthropy, and I am one too. And there's not many of us. There's not many of us around, and so. But that's what I would say is talk to someone like Neil or come to the community foundation, and ask that question because it's a good question, Amy. Because we also turn people away from creating funds. If they have one charity that they're going to support only, and that's okay. You have one favorite. It might not make sense to work with us, but at least come talk to us and we can help you talk through a little bit of, and Neil's group can too, talk through the tax implications of that, what's maybe best for you, and then also what's best for the charity. And so it's really always personal, and it's up to each individual whether opening their own fund is something they want to do or if they want to work directly with the charity. Again, it doesn't make a difference to us as long as people are taking advantage of being charitable, and especially if it's local, that's a win for everybody.
Yeah. What is there is there an area foundation in every community?
No, there's community foundations have been around probably since I'm going to say this wrong, I think 1950s, and there's probably about 1,000 in our country.
Wow.
Some states have more than others. We have about 3 or 4 here in the state. But the interesting thing about community foundations is they're all very place-based. And so they take on kind of a region. And so we kind of focus on Cass and Clay. Now, our dollars can go to any charity anywhere nationally. We'll support that. But we really try to promote local charity, which is what we do with the Caring Catalog. Yeah,
I was curious. Are there other community foundations that you work with, that you collaborate with across the country?
Yeah, we do, because we've got, well, what's interesting is, we have a really strong entrepreneurial spirit in this community.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people who have started businesses here locally are also working across the country. And so there's been times when we've had donors who have businesses in other states, and they'll say, I'm really interested in the food bank here locally. Is there something in Phoenix like that? Well, we'll call the community foundation down in Phoenix, and that's their job, is to know what's local. And they'll give us ideas, and we'll tell our donors, and our donors will send money from our funds to Phoenix because they have interests in that community too. And so it's a beautiful thing because there's just a lot of collaboration, because there's not a lot of competition between community foundations because we're really focused on our region.
Not a lot of competition, but ours is the best.
Yeah, oh no, that's for sure. Yeah, yes. FM Area Foundation, areafoundation.org. Yeah.
I mean, no, I mean that sincerely though, because I mean, you made the point when you're talking about these others, you're like, we are really philanthropy driven in this neck of the woods. And I do think that we are rare in that sense. Like, I don't think every other community is like this, right?
So just being with the Honor Flight and talking about the amount of funds that we're able to raise locally and being well supported, talking with Camp Casey, that we have a larger organization called COCA, Child Oncology Camping Association, and it's an international. So there's cancer camps all throughout the country, and they always talk about funding and volunteers, and we don't really seem to have those major issues near as much as the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, every organization could use more funding and more volunteers,
right.
but drastic difference compared to the other parts of the country. So our area is awesome.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We love one of the most generous parts of the world is obviously the United States, but our region is a wonderful one too. And I've worked in nonprofits, and I couldn't agree more that we are very fortunate in these communities to have such generous folks.
Yeah, Eric Wilkie, you're the nonprofit dude, like, right? I mean, you've been with several, haven't you, before you went to FM Area Foundation, or no?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it sound like I can't hold a job down.
No, I mean, like, it's so great. Like, I feel like I feel like.
Well, right, wrong, or indifferent, I've been in nonprofits for about 25, 26 years now.
Yeah.
That's where my whole career has been. Again, maybe not the best career guidance counselor advice, but no, I've loved it. It's been a rewarding career, and I've worked in nonprofits, what I call kind of the trenches of nonprofits, in seeing the operational side. And then I had the good fortune to move on to the philanthropy side and work with donors, and both have been very rewarding. And, I don't know that I'd call myself the nonprofit guy or the expert, but I've been around a long time, and that's kind of aging me. But I love working with our local nonprofits, and I love working with donors, and that's what we do at the Community Foundation. So it's a great fit for me, and I just love serving this community.
Yeah, no, I think it's wonderful. I think we have this like crew. I joke about like having these like nonprofit power couples in Fargo, but it's true. The people that we have working in nonprofits are really brilliant, I think. I mean, you see these people that are executive directors every day, and these are people who could do anything, yet they decide to be in the nonprofit world to advance those initiatives, which I think is a really big deal.
It is, and it's another reason why we're fortunate where we live, that they're so supported so well. But it's also just one of the reasons why we want to lift up these charities, because we recognize that, it does take money to do this work, and you want to, one, make sure you're impacting the individual you're serving, but also that you have the best working at these organizations. And so nonprofits have a challenge of not only ensuring that they maximize their dollars to their clients, but at the same time, how do they make sure that they're supporting their employees with a fair compensation? Because you want the best working in these nonprofits, because it's very complex issues and complex problems. And, in North Dakota, we have a lot of nonprofits, and they make a big part of our economy. Even though they're nonprofits, they're still paying taxes. And, so it's an economic part of our community too, that we're contributing as well. So nonprofits, you think nonprofit, you think no, that's not the way it works. I mean, they're a big part of the economy as well.
Eric Wilkie is the executive director of the FM Area Foundation. Okay, as we wrap up, tell people how they can get in touch with the FM Area Foundation, where they can keep up with you. They can see you at the Red River Market next week if they come on out.
Yeah, you won't miss us next week. We're partnering with the Blue Cross Blue Shield, their foundation as well. And so there are 2 foundations out there next week, and so you won't miss us. Come out to the market. But you can, the best way to get in touch with us is areafoundation.org. You can always give us a call at 701-234-0756 for any of your philanthropic needs. Any questions you have, reach out, and then get on our website and click on that caring catalog. Check out these 25 charities, and you've got from now until December 2nd to make a gift. And one thing we didn't mention is that if we provide the online resource platform for you to give to those charities. 100% of the money that you donate to us goes to those charities. We cover all the fees. And so if you go online at the FMRE Foundation and want to give $100 to a charity, the charity gets $100. And that's one of our gifts. There's no cost for the charities to be involved with us, and there's no cost for our donors to give to these organizations. We're really just trying to lift up 25 fantastic charities.
I love it. Eric, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And Neil Van Dam, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.